This presentation will cover four main topics of the basics of economics, including scarcity, opportunity cost, elasticity, and utility. The first main point is scarcity. Scarcity refers to the tension between our limited resources and our unlimited wants and needs. Limited resources of the individual include time, money, and skill. And limited resources of a country include natural resources, capital, labor force, and technology. Different people in different countries have varying levels of scarce resources. Each individual's and nation's values are different, and some of their values are formed only because they must deal with the problem of scarcity. Scarcity leads to the study of economics, which is the study of what constitutes rational human behavior and the endeavor to fulfill needs and wants and how to allocate the resources that are present. So unlimited wants and needs, as well as limited resources, begin the problem of scarcity, which leads to the study of economics, which is basically how to allocate resources in our economy. The second main topic is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value of what is foregone in order to have something else. Value is personal to each individual. Opportunity cost is determined by his or her needs, wants, time, and income. A country will decide how best to allocate its resources according to its opportunity cost. The reason why an individual will buy the cheaper of two choices is the opportunity cost. Giving up opportunities in order to purchase a more expensive service or product may be too high a cost for certain people, depending on what the product or service is. The next main topic is elasticity. Elasticity is the degree to which a demand or supply curve reacts to changing price. It varies among products because some may be more essential to the consumer. Necessities are more insensitive to price changes because consumers would continue to buy these products despite a price increase. Goods or services that are not considered necessary will suffer from a price increase because consumers will consider the opportunity cost too high to purchase these. Elasticity can be broken down into two main topics: highly elastic products and services, and inelastic products and services. Products can be considered highly elastic if a slight change in price leads to a sharp change in the quantity demanded or supplied. Usually, they are readily available in the market, but a person may not need them in his or her daily life. Products or services may be considered inelastic if changes in price lead to only modest changes in the quantity demanded or supplied, if any changes are seen at all. They tend to be things that are more of a necessity to a consumer's daily life. To determine the elasticity of the supply or demand curve by using this equation, elasticity equals the percent change in quantity divided by the percent change in price. Curve is considered to be elastic if elasticity is greater than or equal to 1, and the curve is considered to be inelastic if the elasticity is less than 1. The flatter the curve, the flatter curve means that the curve of good in question is elastic. So this slope represents the elastic demand, and an upright curve means good or service in question is inelastic, which is represented in this chart right here. Elasticity has three major factors that can affect the demand in elasticity. One is the available of substitutes. The most important factor may be the availability of substitutes. The more substitutes, the more elastic the demand will be. The amount of time available to spend on the good is the second factor that affects demand elasticity. If prices go up, people get less for the same amount of money and have to reduce their demand for the product. Demand will be sensitive to a change in price if there is no change in income. And finally, income elasticity of demand. If there is an increase in the income, demand tends to increase as well. The degree to which an increase in income will cause an increase in demand is called income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand can be expressed by the following equation. Income elasticity of demand equals current quantity subtracted by the previous quantity divided by the previous quantity. And then that subtotal is divided by the current income minus the previous income, which is divided by the previous income. If income elasticity of demand is greater than 1, demand of the item is considered to have a high income elasticity. Luxury items usually have higher income elasticity because when people have a higher income, they don't have to forfeit as much to buy these luxury items. If income elasticity of demand is less than 1, demand is considered to become inelastic, which means it has a higher slope. The last main topic is utility. Utility represents the advantage or fulfillment a person receives from consuming a good or service. It explains how individuals and economies aim to gain optimal satisfaction in dealing with scarcity. It is an abstract concept rather than an observable quantity. Units we assign to an amount of utility are arbitrary and represent a relative value rather than a concrete value. Total utility is the aggregate sum of satisfaction or benefit an individual gains from consuming a given amount of goods or services. It corresponds to the person's level of consumption. The more the person consumes, the larger his or her total utility will be. It will increase at a slower pace as an individual increases the quantity consumed because of the threshold of satisfaction. Once the threshold is crossed, the consumer will no longer receive the same pleasure from consumption. An example of this is if someone buys a candy bar. The first candy bar will be extremely satisfying, but the more they eat, the less satisfied they are, because they may become full, they may not want as much, and so it's not going to taste as good. Marginal utility is the additional satisfaction or amount of utility gained from each extra unit of consumption, decreases with each additional increase in the consumption of goods, and it demonstrates the law of diminishing marginal utility. The law of diminishing marginal utility helps economists understand the law of demand and the negative sloping demand curve. The less of something you have, the more satisfaction you gain from each additional unit you consume, which can be represented in the candy bar example. Marginal utility you gain from that product is therefore higher, which gives you a higher willingness to pay more for it. Prices are lower at a higher quantity demanded, because the person's additional satisfaction diminishes as he or she demands more. Consumer demand theory is used to determine what a consumer's utility and total utility are. It studies the consumer behavior and satisfaction, and assumes the consumer is rational and will thus maximize his or her total utility by purchasing a combination of different products rather than more of one particular product. The consumer demand theory thus helps economists predict what consumers will purchase. Finally, the basics of economics. In order to come full circle, we discuss 4 primary topics and the basics of economics. First, we discuss scarcity, which refers to the tension between our limited resources and our unlimited wants and needs. Then, we covered opportunity cost, which is the value of what is foregone in order to have something else. After that, we discuss elasticity, which is the degree to which a demand or supply curve reacts to change in price. And finally, utility, which represents the advantage or fulfillment a person receives from consuming a good or service.